Oh my God!
Randy Orton!
Whoa, the casket! Oh man!
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, I know I have not made a video update in quite a long time, and that is because Bitcoin literally was not doing anything. If you were following me over on Twitter, you would have seen that we were basically stuck in this falling wedge pattern, as you can see right here, and we were waiting to sort of have a breakout either to the upside or to the downside. And as you can see right here, as this was holding us down, what happened is, if I zoom in right here, you can see that we had the breakout. We came back down, right? We retested that support. And what happened? Massive candle right here. You can see Bitcoin at around $64,800. And again, you know, these patterns do tend to break out a little around the 65 to 70% area. So that is exactly what we are expecting, but we're not quite out of the water just yet. As you can see, we're sort of getting held up right under this area right here, where we had a lot of the support and then also some subsequent resistance. So today's video, I just want to talk about very quick update. It's super windy out here. I apologize if it's screwing up the audio in the video. I'm trying my best to not have the wind affected, but I did want to talk about what's going on right now, because I do believe that there are a lot of people right now that are on the wrong side of the trade, right? They're getting bored. You know, you're seeing a lot of the views on the videos start to fall. People are losing interest, right? Well, we're going to talk about what's really happening in the background and why this could actually just be one massive bear trap. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Again, if you guys like these super short videos, I do appreciate a like and a comment. It does help to push this out so more people can see it. And one thing before we move on, I just want to point out the fact that we do have meta signals. We have 15 NFTs remaining until price increases. You can see right here. And for those of you that want to just try it out, if you want to just use USD, we do have a 14-day free trial. We did double it. We originally had 7 days. We upped it to 14 days because that is how confident that Meta Signals is that you are going to really enjoy these signals if you do choose to basically participate. So yeah, you have the option of $5,490 a year, $549 a month, and make sure if you guys do want to get that extra 20% off, use the code ZOMBIE, Z-O-M-B-I, on checkout. And of course, guys, Levex is still running their $5,000 promotion if you guys are interested. Links below in the description. So let's start right here. What I thought was really interesting, like Mr. Honkasalo pointed out. So you had some entity, some whale, somebody was trying to sell over here on Coinbase. And look at this. Every time they would sell, look at how these wicks kept getting bought up and bought up and bought up on, you know, I mean, yeah, we were trending to the downside. We were in, you know, the descending falling wedge pattern. But I mean, this is showing me that every time this person was trying to sell, look at this getting bought up. Look at this getting bought up, right? So obviously maybe they were doing a market sell or something like that. But I mean, just look at this. Every time the price was dipping, clearly somebody was stepping in. Now, who exactly was this entity who was stepping in buying all this Bitcoin? Well, we do have some theories that I'll get to in just a bit, but I did want to just show you some very quick TA, super fast, no longer than a couple minutes, just to show you guys where we're at right here. So basically what we had was we had a descending pattern, right, inside of an ascending pattern. Now, the ascending pattern is the longer pattern, right? It's the midterm. This is the short term. And as you guys can see right here, the same way that we had on the falling wedge, we also, on the downward sloping parallel channel, we had the breakout, the retest, and now currently, as you guys can see, we are attempting to be held down right here on this heart line. So if I just get all those drawings away, you can see right here, right, we had this parallel channel, and if you see this dotted trend right in the middle, which was acting as support here, acting as support here, well, currently it's acting as resistance. So we're not quite out of the woods just yet, but we have had a daily, at least a daily confirmation on the fact that we are attempting to have that breakout, right? So the top of that channel would put the next move at around $72,000, which is exactly what I had said in my Twitter post if you guys were following me, right? And we said one of the biggest keys, one of the biggest clues that we had was this candle right here, okay? You could see it got perfectly supported by this 21 exponential, and that was showing me that there was massive interest and massive buying at those levels. And yes, it is boring, yes, it is going sideways, but at the same time, we're also finding that support on the moving average, the bottom moving average of this pi cycle indicator. As I had still circled, you know, previously, this tends to act as support as you're in the beginning, or at least the middle, you could say, of the bull cycle. And of course, you do have the top acting as resistance. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're having resistance at the top and we're having support at the bottom. So we are still exhibiting constructive price action to the upside. And I know it's been a little bit boring, but at the same time, look at what's happening, my friends. We have the DXY being held down again by this legacy resistance. Every time we come down here, we keep putting in lower lows, and we are now starting to break lower. So we know that as the dollar begins to weaken, you tend to see things like Bitcoin and risk assets do much better. So if you're wondering, where are the short-term price movements? Well, if we just put on this Fibonacci retracement, let's just go to let's do the shorter time frame right here. We'll just zoom in. So obviously, if we take this from the top and we come down here to the bottom, well, look at that. That puts our next area of interest, let me come down here, at around the 1.618, which is around 84,000. So if we do have Bitcoin breaking back through these highs, then the next level we are looking for is to come up and test around 84,000. And you want to see something incredible? If I actually come down here, look at where the 2.618 is, and if we zoom all the way out, remember we had this Fibonacci extension pulled down here, that matches the 1.618 of the previous move, and that puts us exactly at our target of around $102,000 for Bitcoin this cycle. So we are still looking at around $100,000 to $102,000 Bitcoin for this cycle, and all the signs are still pointing to it, despite the fact that we've had this extremely boring sideways price action, right? And this is what happens. You know, you have these very exuberant moves, we have these crazy blasts off, and then we have these cool down periods, right? And that's all we were going through right now, even though, yes, I do agree it's been a little bit boring, but you know, if you were smart, if you were taking these opportunities to dollar cost average, well, I do believe that this is going to pay out in the long run. And if we actually come over here and have a look at what Seth was pointing out, Bitcoin bears continue to get wrecked. We have Bitcoin price up while open interest is down. Spot buying is increasing. So obviously, you know, these whales, these big institutions or whoever, they don't want to just surge the price immediately, right? What they want to do is they want to sort of buy. They want to buy into that, that weakness, that selling. They want to go in there and scoop that up, but they don't want to move the price too much because they want to make sure that they can get enough of that allocation, right? And as you can see right here, On-Chain College points out, what do you notice about prior cycle tops in Bitcoin's history? When you're looking at the relationship of market cap and hash rate, we see multiple standard deviations above the mean when the Bitcoin price is around the cycle top. And I think it's very clear to see that we are nowhere near the top. I mean, we're only really just in the middle somewhere, right? We have a lot more to go. And there was so much that was telling us that this cycle had a lot more gas in it. Now, I know we've seen some crazy things going on. We got GameStop meme stocks pumping again, S&P still moving up. And again, we have the DXY falling down. So again, while everyone's calling for doom and gloom and the bears are saying we're going back down to 30,000, we've just been holding this sort of level, right? Bouncing sort of between the 61,000 fake out to the downside up to 71,000 fake out to the upside. But for the most part, we are just in an accumulation range, and there is nothing stopping us from having this bull run continue. And honestly, guys, the thing is it's very boring until it's not. And once the price starts to move, that's when you're going to have that FOMO where, we've been hanging around between 60 and 70, bouncing around, having these, lower highs, people freaking out. And then all of a sudden, it's just going to take off. And next thing you know, you're going to have that $84,000, $102,000 Bitcoin. And that can happen very, very quickly, as we have shown multiple times in the past. But the question is, who exactly is buying? Why should we, be excited? Is it really as big of a deal? Well, I mean, first of all, it was the most successful ETF launch of all time, the Bitcoin ETF, but I'll let Matt Hogan sort of break it down for you.
There's maybe $50 billion in assets, north of $10 billion of net flows. Flows have restarted after taking a few days off. We're actually in a really interesting point right now, Bob, because we're getting the 13F filings, where we're seeing whether professional investors are allocating to these ETFs. Those filings are due May 15th, but they're already a large number in, and there are a huge number of really iconic firms allocating to these ETFs, well north of 500 professional investors making investments, including firms that manage money on behalf of Yale and Princeton and others, firms like Hightower Advisors. These ETFs are being adopted by professional investors. We're learning that right now. And I suspect we're going to see the inflows from that group accelerate in the second half of the year. So from any perspective, a massive success. And I think that success will continue and compound in the second half.
So you can see, while there's all this doom and gloom in the background, we have Boston-based hedge fund accumulating $363 million worth of Bitcoin ETF shares. We also have BlackRock, Fidelity, and Bitwise ETFs drawing $205 million from New York's Pine Ridge Advisors. Now, they're saying that the investment represents a significant portion of the firm's total assets under management. But it's just a flash in the pan, right? No, guys, I told you, these things take time. You weren't just gonna have an ETF out and then suddenly everyone and their mother was gonna buy it. No, these guys, they're traditional, they're dinosaurs, right? They wanna wait. They wanna wait and see and track the progress, make sure that the product is legit. They wanna have data to bring to their clients. So they don't care. They're not like us. They're not trying to buy the dips. I mean, maybe some of these, traditional traders might, but not these long-term holders, these people that are just looking to basically put 1%, 3%, maybe 5% of their portfolio into Bitcoin, and they don't care about the swings. They're just gonna hold it long term. They're gonna call up their guy and they're gonna be like, hey Bob, listen, I want a 3% allocation. Let's just, buy some, and we're gonna hold it for the next 5 to 10 years. But they want to see that progress. And if you think that's funny, major US banks disclose growing Bitcoin investments through ETFs. JP Morgan and Wells Fargo have revealed investments in Bitcoin ETFs. Wait a minute, hold on. JP Morgan? Hold on, guys. So let's just go back to April 18th. Well, this wasn't April 18th. This was actually a while ago. But you have JP Morgan CEO saying Bitcoin is a fraud and a Ponzi scheme. And I don't know if you remember that video, but he said that he would fire anyone who he found trading it, and yet at the same time, they were one of the largest buyers.
Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
So this is why we always say watch what they do, not what they say, right? So this is basically how it started and how it's going. JP Morgan Chase discloses spot Bitcoin ETF portfolio. So it really is just a matter of not really if, but when they eventually just come around to it, guys. And Bitcoin is going to be an asset class that is here to stay, and it will be in virtually every portfolio at some point in the future, right? And, I just want to give a friendly reminder. This is what we said when we had the ETF launch, and some people were saying, oh, it's not performing that well. Well, guys, don't forget that when you had the gold spot ETF launch, okay, it went sideways for 10 months. For 10 straight months, it just did absolutely nothing. I'm sure they were saying it was a failure back then, and look at what gold did after that. And think about how low Bitcoin's market cap is and how much faster we could seriously have this Bitcoin pump, right? And again, if you look at the Bitcoin power law, we're only sitting just in the middle. And you can see that once we stay under this level for a very long time, as soon as we break above it, that is when you see the massive, massive price movements. And zooming in right here, I mean, we're still only just dancing below it. So really, the fireworks have yet to begin. So again, I know there wasn't really much to go over, but if we look at these cycles, the sort of, this is not literally spring, summer, winter, and fall. This is just the seasonality of Bitcoin broken down into the years of spring, summer, winter, and fall, winter, if you want to go in order for Bitcoin. And you can see right now, you can see every time we enter this yellow zone, that is when we really, really start to take off, right? And you can see right here, we're only just beginning to enter. Oops, I don't know what's going on right now. My screen is messed up. There's obviously no Wi-Fi out here. But you can see, this is where we start to enter it. So again, this is not the time to get scared. This is not the time to freak out. This is the time to be paying attention because, everyone is getting bored right now. They're not paying attention. Maybe some people even stop dollar cost averaging. They think the Bitcoin run is over. Well, I would beg to differ on that. I think we're kind of just getting started. But a little bit of a word of warning. There were almost 1 million new crypto tokens created in the last month, and I know we've been looking at a lot of different altcoins on this channel. And personally, well, some people make fun of how much Bitcoin I hold. I hold 90+% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. But hey, you do you, whatever your allocation is. So my exposure to altcoins is very small. It's only about 5 to 10% of my portfolio, on any given day. However, the thing is I'm willing to lose that money if I'm wrong, right? But in the chance that you're right, the upside potential of some of these altcoins is astronomical, and that 5% could actually literally become, 99% of your portfolio, right? Like it literally could if you do, one of these crazy 100x's, 1000x's, but just be very careful out there because there have been a lot of tokens which are sort of diluting the interest into Bitcoin, and they're not all gonna survive, right? 99% of them do not survive. That's why, you can dabble in the meme coins, that's fine. Some of them are gonna do well, most of them are gonna die, but, try to find those coins that you've done your research, that you believe in. Obviously, if I find any, I will share them on the channel, but again, take it with a grain of salt. It's just what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do. At the end of the day, if you want to play it safe, buy Bitcoin, hold it, you're going to be fine, right? But if you want to play in the meme coin casino or the altcoin casino, just be very wary of the fact that there's a lot of altcoins that have come out recently, and they're going to be sucking up a lot of the capital, and they're not all going to be winners, but I do believe that there will be. You're always going to have something like a Chainlink and Ethereum, something that will be able to continue to the next cycle, right? But most of them won't. So just be very careful about that. But of course, it doesn't mean that we can't make a lot of money along the way. So that was just a little bit of a disclaimer. And I do want to just end here on what Intuitio posted over on Twitter. I just want to read this to you. So, and I kind of agree with this. So he says, this bear trap is almost exact replica of 2021 summer's bear trap. There's only one difference. Bitcoin and ETH are stronger than in 2021. Here are the facts. The 21 bear trap took place from mid-April to mid-July, so a total of 3 months. We are currently 2 months into the current bear trap. In 2021, most alts went down 60 to 70%. If you kind of look at what's going on right now, most alts are down around 60%. Which, by the way, if you have been waiting for these opportunities to accumulate some of these altcoins, remember, you want to buy the fear and sell the greed. Well, right now, there's a lot of people that are in fear. So, not saying you should buy any particular altcoin, but if there's one that you believe in, you've done your research on, now's probably the time, right? In 2021, ETH went down 65%. It's down only around 30% right now. But again, we haven't really seen those big 30% as much as we have in the past. So they say we can clearly see that the alts are down about the same in 2021, while ETH and Bitcoin are down only about half as much, which is actually an amazing sign of strength. So intuitively, I would say this is because of the ETFs. Again, we have a completely, new class of demand, right, that we never had before. So it's not over, it's far from over. Bottom is very close, which we actually could have recently just put that in as I'm making this video. We're gonna pump very soon, and yes, ETH is going to lift up the whole market. Alts being down 60% from the high seems crazy, but essentially hold your head up, keep grinding. The next 6 months are of crucial importance. Narnia. So yeah, that's basically where we're going to end it, guys. So, ultimately, again, we are entering into the summer. I would not be sleeping right now. I think this is a massive time for opportunity. Again, I tried to mute my microphones if we got some wind. Sorry, guys, I can't film in my house right now. I'm down in Florida, and maybe I'll take a picture and show you guys. It's like you ever watch Home Alone 2, when he goes to like his uncle's house and it's all like renovated and there's like plastic and stuff? That's literally what my house looks like. Trust me, you don't want me to film in there. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Just wanted to give you a basic update, even though not much has changed, but a lot of people were asking what's going on. I'm still positive. I'm still bullish. I'm still looking forward to a massive price surge, into the end of this year. So if that sounds good, thank you. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Drop a like on the video. Like I said, it helps to spread the message. And if you guys do want to learn how to trade, check out the tutorials popping up right here, right now, and do take advantage of those bonuses below. So until next time, guys, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.